Will you be able to play with your friends?
Yeah.
You guys are literally building your own massively multiplayer world that's procedurally generated.
The only way for you to know what you look like is for somebody else to, to see you.
Can you run into other people, other players on the game?
Yes, but the chances of that are incredibly rare, just because of the size of what we're building. You could encounter other players. The reality is,
No Man's Sky has now released on the PlayStation 4 platform. It is coming out on Friday for the PC. And all the people who said that I needed to do my research and that my opinion was wrong because I didn't have the information at my fingertips, now I do. And I gotta say, listening back to that video that I put out at the end of June, my honest opinion of No Man's Sky, that video I was talking about leading up to the launch, what I think about the game going into launch time. And I gotta say, I was 100% right. Every person who told me to go do research, you are delusional if you think that what I said in the video is not exactly what we have at launch. Let's talk about what I said in the video compared to what we have here at launch with No Man's Sky. I was talking about procedural generated worlds and how it would work over a network with multiplayer in mind. Keep in mind, I assumed that this was going to be a multiplayer game that we could meet up and play with our friends. Granted, yes, it would be a slim chance because of how expansive the universe is, but Sean Murray came out multiple times and he said that it was a possibility, that yes, you can play with your friends. So me thinking logically, how the fuck are they going to handle that kind of interaction over a server with procedurally generated worlds? It was so hard to fathom, and everyone jumped down my fucking throat for it. And it's how can you think that this was even going to work? And guess what? Turns out it doesn't. Sean Murray fucking lied about multiplayer. Because the Steam page says that it's a single-player experience. The PlayStation Store says that it's a single-player experience. Sean Murray even came out the day before and said that this is a single-player experience, that we shouldn't focus on multiplayer. Motherfucker, how many times did you say in multiple interviews that you'd be able to play with your friends? Is that not what multiplayer is? Or am I fucking crazy? Matter of fact, Jeff Keighley, during his interview, mentioned that you guys were making a massive multiplayer MMO, and you didn't even bother correcting him. What you said? You just said, oh, right.
Building your own massively multiplayer world that's procedurally generated and procedurally.
Yeah, right. You agreed that you guys were making an MMO. So people telling me to do my research talking about multiplayer over a network with procedurally generated universes. How the fuck could you even fathom doing that? And that's what I was saying in the video. A team of fucking 14 people being able to handle that kind of architecture, and then it comes out that this is basically a single player game. It's not basically, it is a single player game. There is no multiplayer. Two streamers last night met up in the same building, talking to the same NPC, and they couldn't see each other. So my unfathomable thoughts about how this architecture was going to work was 100% right, because it doesn't. What he fucking told us it was going to be was a lie. So I got to do my research. Fuck you. And in terms of gameplay, in this video I said that there was going to be a group of people who were really going to love this game, and I still feel that today. I still feel like the exploration and the grind crowd, the people who can handle days upon days of doing the same thing, are gonna fucking absolutely love this. Absolutely. I said after a couple of hours of playing, it felt like, when you're playing RPGs and you get the fetch quests like kill 20 of this, collect 5 of this, collect 10 of this, and then come back. It feels like that, only there's no come back. Like, that is the fucking experience. Collect iron, carbon, iridium, thamium, collect all of these minerals and use them to craft stuff to upgrade your ship so you can fly to the next planet and do it all over again. And yeah, there's overarching lore, but in all the NPC interactions that I've seen, it's been pretty shallow. It's literally like you go up to an NPC, you get a little text prompt saying, hey, this NPC is angry at you. He snarls. He points to your multi-tool. Do you choose to A, give him the multi-tool, or B, not give him the multi-tool? And like me thinking that you can't go through this game without a multi-tool, I'm going to give it to him, because what's he going to do? Just say fuck you and keep it? Now I can't do the one thing in this game that you need to do, and that's use your multi-tool? Like, give me a fucking break. How shallow is this choice? But there's a bunch of stuff with like Atlas interfaces and stuff that are trying to help you get to the center of the universe. It's all about exploring. And like I said, for me, fucking so shallow of an experience. But for the people who love that shit, who can get lost in a single player game for hundreds and hundreds of hours, go for it, man. If you can handle, because this is, let's be real, this is a walking / flying simulator. If you can handle that and just nothing but collecting resources, and then eventually like sentinels will come and they're like little like Wheatley robots, and they'll like start shooting at you and you got to shoot them and shit. If you can handle that, awesome. Like this game is going to be for you. But I feel like people were hyping this up, and partly they were right to hype it up, because Sean Murray's calling this an MMO. Jeff Keighley's saying it's an MMO. Sean Murray's saying you can play with your friends. This is like an online, this is so much smaller in scope than what I think a lot of people were expecting. And that was the point of that video that I made. You guys need to lower your expectations, because some of the shit that I've been hearing is just not realistic. People were comparing it to Minecraft. And the fact that Minecraft was so successful, Minecraft didn't have a story, and Minecraft was procedurally generated worlds. I'll give you the procedurally generated worlds, and I'll give you the story. But the fact that made Minecraft so freaking popular was the fact that you could play with your friends, and then they had the modding tools available like Bukkit and Tekkit and all that other stuff to make worlds more and more expansive. We have yet to see modding for this. I'm not sure if that's going to be a thing, but as far as I can tell, everything is handled on Hello Games server side like that. Like you can see them watching the analytics of everybody playing on Twitter. They've been posting screenshots. I don't think modding is going to be a thing in this, but that's just me. People were saying like, oh, you can trade with NPCs and shit. There's like trading runs and stuff. Yeah, I mean, really, it's more just like a merchant. Like you can go, you can buy, you can sell. Like that, to me, it's just like, that should come fucking basic in a game like this. What I wasn't expecting is how much the survival element would come into play. Now, for me, I didn't die once through my playthrough so far. I haven't died a single time. But I was playing with my boy Ty last night. We were just on Skype. He was playing in his world. I was playing in mine. And he died like a few times during that like first hour of play. And so the game is like a survival crafting looter. Like that's what it is. There are some things that I really do enjoy about the game as well. The color palette that they use for the planets is fucking gorgeous. It's visually stimulating to look down at planets, fly into them, and see the world come to life. It's fucking crazy. Now that being said, I'm going to put the world coming to life part, another part down the road in this video. This is going to be a longer video, so strap the fuck in. That being said, the graphics themselves, like the actual detail on like the plants and the rocks and the actual world itself, it's pretty lackluster. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's a love-hate relationship. I love the color palette, but the actual detail is just not there. I get it. It's procedurally generated. I'm not gonna focus on it because I don't think this game is about graphics at all, so I don't really give a shit. But it's just something to note. The space combat, from what I have seen so far, is again pretty basic. You can fly around. The controls are really nice on a controller. I will say that. Fuck yeah, it feels good to fly. But when you get into space combat and you're fighting the combat sentinels and shit like that, it's just, you aim at them, you hold the X button. Like there's just not much there. You know what I mean? When you're attacking the ships out in space, like you aim at the containers on the side and you just hold the X button. When you're shooting at asteroids, it's just you hold the X button. Like it's basic. You know what I mean? And I get that. And that's what I'm saying. This game was so expansive that all these other elements that go into making the core gameplay up, I felt get shafted. They all get brought down to their basic ass ability, and that's really it. One thing about the PS4, when you're flying into the planets, the fucking pop-in is atrocious on the PS4. It is fucking atrocious. You guys want to talk about immersion? This game is the game to be immersed in. The minimalistic HUD and the soundtrack is fantastic, but when you're flying into the world and like you can see like this graininess come about all over your screen, it looks like fucking shit. And I'm guessing that's more on the PS4 side of things, not being able to handle this. I'm still waiting to see the PC release for that because it's fucking horrible. Playing on consoles with that FOV is abysmal. It literally feels like you're either a midget or you're super tall and you don't know where you are when you look down. Like it's confusing and it's intrusive. And trying to combat like the little flight sentinels on planets is a goddamn pain in the ass with that kind of FOV. I heard the PC is getting FOV sliders. I really wish that you guys would do that for the console releases too. Like, there's no excuse for it at this point because it's fucking atrocious to play on. Let's talk about the world itself. Now, a bunch of different biomes. I think there's like 15 or so. Somebody said on Reddit. I don't know if that's the case. But there's a few. I've landed on planets with lush green, snow planets, barren, like desert, dust planets. There's a lot of variety. That being said, the animals on each one, there's variety, but it's like everything just feels so lifeless. A huge expansive world like this, and everything just feels so static. Like you can, I walked up to this huge animal and I started shooting at him, and he just kind of ran to the side and didn't really react the way I thought he was going to. The animals just, I don't know, the game it's so lifeless and empty, and flying between real planets I'm sure would be kind of the same, but in a video game it's kind of like, okay. It makes it feel like the only thing to do that's worthwhile is to mine and gather resources, which, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it is. I'm not going to do a review of this. I was thinking about it. I was like, you know what? I wanted to do a review, but as I started playing it and getting into it a little bit, I was like, you know what? I feel like a discussion of my thoughts and actually being able to like talk freely instead of my review format. I think that's a better way for me to go with this. But basically, I picked up the game to confirm what I think I already knew in my heart, and I think what a lot of other people actually knew, even though I got a lot of hate on that video. Like, it's almost up to 1,000 dislikes. It's crazy. Like, people shit on my opinion. They told me to go do research. They told me to kill myself. They told me to do a bunch of stuff. But the fact is just based on what I saw and what was being told to us by Sean Murray and by the community, I knew that this was a recipe for disaster. And we can see that now with how the subreddit is reacting. It started off to be a circle jerk 24 hours before the game came out, and now with this news that you can't actually play with your friends, now everybody is looking around like, what the fuck? These guys lied. Grab your pitchforks. And honestly, when it comes to developers lying to consumers, I don't blame them. I don't at all. Anyways, guys, if you made it to the end of this video, I really do appreciate you sitting through this. This whole No Man's Sky thing, from the time I put my video out to now, has just been, it's just been a clusterfuck. A lot of negative comments have been thrown my way, and it's cool. It is what it is. But the fact is like, this is my opinion. And if you guys don't agree with it, like, I don't expect all 20,000 of you guys to agree with my opinion. That's just not realistic. But, like, I respect your guys' opinion, and I want to hear your opinions in the comments below. But it's like, can you just not tell me to kill myself when all I did at that time was predict what I think's going to happen, and that's that this game is going to die after a month? And I really think now, the fact that we don't have any multiplayer at all, I think it's going to die after a month. I really fucking believe that. And that's just my opinion. It is what it is. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Big Fry. If you guys made it to the end of the video, use the keyword NMS. That lets me know you guys made it to the end of the video, and leave a comment down below on what you guys think. Are you playing No Man's Sky? Is this game just something you don't give a fuck about? Let me know below, and I will see you on the next one.